Hello and welcome back to the Battle Room. My name is, of course, Battle Room, and today I'm joined by the teams from the most recent Victory Road tournament and also the two finalist teams from the first real-life event in Thailand, the Masterball series, which is their qualification system for Worlds. So these are two teams that made it to the finals. Obviously very, very good. But let's start with Victory Road. So Victory Road obviously puts on these tournaments basically every weekend right now, but I think they're really, really valuable just to see what these top players are using. This one took place during one of the European tournaments, the European regionals, at 6 in the morning for most Americans. So it is very much dominated by Italy and Japan, which is kind of wild. But yeah, so let's take a look. Let's see what won and talk about how that's adjusting the metagame. So I would say one of the big things I want to make note of before we even get into the teams is the rise of Glimmora Whimsicott, right? Glimmora Whims was the team that was, like, it featured Glimmora Whims. It got first on ladder. And I feel like that team has influenced the meta tenfold, right? Like, everybody's trying to use it. There's variations of it. People are trying different things. There's some without Glimmora, some with Mega Glimmora. It's going kind of nuts right now. But let's look at number 11 first in top cut here with a Lopunny and Vivillon team, which is actually insane. Like, really insane. So we have Mega Lopunny as our mega, our only mega. I think Mega Lopunny is kind of cool. My only issue with it is that it is so frail. Like, if it could hold a Mega Stone and a Sash, it would be obviously very broken, very, very good. But it's just so frail and easy to kill. But I think a lot of the things it does do well are sick, right? Faking out Ghost types, sick, awesome. Triple Axle to kill Garchomp, that's incredible. Fighting type moves to threaten King Gambit, awesome. Scrappy to hit Basque Legion with close combat or Giga Impact, amazing stuff. Giga Impact's also really, really crazy. Scarf Viv is like really cool, really weird. I think we see it again later. Yeah, I think there's another one in cut. That's crazy to me. Vivillon, it does seem like it would be a pretty strong Pokemon, right? Compound Eyes is really cool. It allows it to hit guaranteed sleep powders. Hurricane is all but guaranteed as well. It's a cool ability and I'm surprised we're not seeing it more, but I probably wouldn't have chosen Scarf, but clearly it's working. You get to priority. You get to set up Tailwind before things can move. You can also fake out Tailwind. You can fake out Sleep Powder. It seems pretty solid. Like, it is a fast sleep Pokemon. It's kind of like budget Venusaur without the sun. Of course, we have Sash Basque Legion, which is very, very good. Dragonite. I feel like Dragonite is low-key on the rise again. He's looking really, really strong, right? He's good into Sun. He's good into a lot of the common Pokemon. He's hard to trade with because of multi-scale. This one's kind of crazy with Iron Head, Low Kick, Extreme Speed, and Dragon Claw. Usually you see Protect or Tailwind along those lines, but this one's just opting for all attacks. They do have a Farigiraf to protect it. Speaking of Farigiraf, we have Psychic T-Bolt. What? I mean, okay, Thunderbolt is very cool. I think electric coverage is so desperately needed. Like, if we look through here, I bet you, yeah, there's not a single electric type Pokemon in the entire top cut, right? The electric type Pokemon are just severely lacking right now. The only Pokemon that I can think of is like Rotom. I think when we did the tier list, I think I mentioned that, but I think Rotom is like one of the only good electric types. So it makes a lot of sense that teams are really struggling to find electric type damage. So fuck it. Farigiraf, you're an electric type now, right? The other electric type he's not really an electric type, but like Electroshot is such a good move and you get a +1, so it feels like it's kind of stab. So I feel like Archaludon, he's kind of an electric type. In my heart, he's an electric type. But Farigiraf, sure, is now an electric type. Thunderbolt is cool. It hits Pelipper. It hits Charizard. Like, it seems kind of cool, especially if it is able to get KOs, you know, with Sylveon, right? And I think Trick Room is really good right now. With the rise of Glimmora Whimsicott, there leaves a lot of room for like slower Trick Room centric teams. Lopunny, not the greatest partner, but you can just fake out Trick Room. You can Rage Part of Trick Room. It's kind of neat that you've got options on this team, but I do think Trick Room is very strong. And then pairing that with Sylveon as our Trick Room sweeper, and probably also Dragonite and Basque Legion do work pretty decently as well. They're pretty slow. It makes sense. So we have a Trick Room mode at least. But Sylveon, Farigiraf, cool combo. I wonder if you do get the KO on a Charizard. There's no way Hyper Voice plus T-Bolt kills Charizard. There's no way. They're so bulky, but maybe. Who's to say? But yeah, this team is crazy. It seems so annoying to play against, though, and it does seem really, really scary. If I was staring down Lopunny Vivillon with a Scarf, I'm honestly just rage quitting the game. Like I don't want to play against this, and it does seem like this team is quite balanced on a knife's edge. But at the same time, like outside of the craziness of the first two, we have 4 very consistent and very strong options at the end. Honestly, just a sick team, a crazy team that I would never want to face. Next up, we have Floette Mousehold. Okay. I feel like this isn't a super crazy take on this type of team. I think we saw a lot of it earlier on in the format. The idea is pretty simple. You have Fake Out with Sneasler. Usually there's like an instant or something, but there's no instant here. So you have Sneasler, you can press Fake Out with Floette, you set up your Calm Mind, and then you bring in Mousehold, or vice versa. You lead Mousehold plus Floette, you press Follow Me, you set up Calm Mind, and you just start sweeping. Usually Aerodactyl is here, mainly to help with Charizard, but this one actually does have Wide Guard as well to help with Floette. Tailwind is sick. This one is Mega, which is kind of cool. Like, it gives you that better matchup into Charizard, and it gives you that second Mega option. But Aerodactyl's so good that you can just bring him with Floette as regular guy. He doesn't care. He can still set up Tailwind for your boosted Floette, and you can just start sweeping. We also have a second sweeper in King Gambit, so we can potentially lead King Gambit plus Mouse or King Gambit plus Sneasler. Press Fake Out, press up Swords Dance. I actually really think Swords Dance is really good right now. I feel like a lot of people just aren't prepared for how much damage SD King Gambit can do, and I think they're, you know, it's just not popular that he's so broken. He's so good, right? He's a very strong Pokemon right now, so why can't Swords Dance be good? You know what I mean? That's my thought process. Obviously, it worked out really, really well here, getting top cut. And then Sash Basket Legion to round everything out. This team is just protect the king or protect the queen. It's very, very simple in what it's trying to do, and it has amazing tools to make that happen. I like this team a lot, though. Next up, we have a Charizard Whimsicott Glimmora team, but with Mega Glimmora. So Charizard, let's break down why Charizard, or why Whimsicott is so good right now. I used Whimsicott quite a bit at the end of the last ranked season when I caught wind of the Glimmora Whimsicott team, and it's so good. I think that Glimmora Whims is just such a potent and powerful lead, mostly because when you lead Glimmora into it, Toxic Debris is just so brutal. Again, this meta is so physically dominated that it's just so easy to get up those Toxic Debris, right? Like, if you just lead it, they have to kill it, and usually when they kill it, it's with a physical move. So you're getting up usually I usually guaranteed toxic spikes, which honestly, like with this type of team here, we do have a Scarf Garchomp. But yeah, a lot of our Pokemon can protect. They can stall out those poison turns, getting more value out of it, and you can just kind of set up easier KOs, right? This team is a little bit different than the team that did get rank 1, but I like the changes they made. Charizard, he's pretty simple. He's good. He's strong. Again, Whimsicott, I think also what makes Whimsicott so good is the priority Tailwind. It's able to outspeed Aerodactyl and set up Tailwind before Aerodactyl can move, and I think Aerodactyl was just so powerful and so prevalent that having that ability is just really huge right now, and I think this is here to stay. I think Whimsicott Glimmora, Whimsicott in general, is a premier Pokemon in the format, and it just took us about a month to figure that out. It was about probably, I'd say like 2 weeks, I think people started using it. But yeah, I think Whimsicott is so powerful. Priority Tailwind is better than manual Tailwind. So it is better than Aerodactyl. It allows you to act first. Aerodactyl gets put in this really awkward situation where it's like, do I set up Tailwind to match it, but then I'm going to get Encored? Do I try to kill Whimsicott for dual Wing Beat? But then if I kill Whimsicott, that means they bring something in and they can start threatening damage. And then I'm sitting there like just completely fucked. So I think it's a very cool adaptation that the meta has come to, but the question is, what will beat Whimsicott? And the answer is maybe nothing. This stuff seems really strong, but also I trust in our community, our game, to figure out how to beat this team. It's just a matter of time. But I think right now it's very good and probably one of the best teams in the format. If it's just the best team in the format, I'm just gonna say it. It's so good. Basket Legion makes a ton of sense. Sash, very good, right? You're whittling things down with Toxic Debris. You're dealing lots of damage. Sash, Last Respects is lit. Scarf Garchomp is pretty cool. Now, usually the Garchomps were Citrus Berry on the original version, and we'll probably see some more Citrus, but Scarf is cool too. I think being able to outspeed stuff like Basket Legion is valuable. You know, having that pressure onto Scarf Basket is sick, because I think Scarf Basket can be a little bit scary. And then also just in general, like Earthquake plus Charizard's really broken, very strong. I think having a high speed ceiling is always valuable. No Protect King Gambit, I think that's good. I think King Gambit just wants all the coverage. And like right now, Fake Out isn't super duper popular that you're like, do I need to protect? Sometimes I just want to push the damage even harder. He's also very naturally bulky. He can survive the close combat. He can survive the hits. So it's like, hey, I'll just take the Iron Head and the low kick coverage, because you mainly just need low kick to hit the other King Gambits at this point. And then Iron Head is obviously great into fairies, and that's kind of why you want to use him in the first place. So I think it makes a lot of sense to run no protect King Gambit, which is kind of crazy to say, because in like my years of playing the game, it's pretty rare that a Pokemon will not want to run protect. Obviously, like Scarf or Assault Vest, whatever. But right now, it seems like it's a good option. And then Mega Glimmora. This is the weird part of the team. I don't know if I really like it, because usually Sash Glimmora is so good, but it does free up the Sash for Basculegion, which I think is very powerful. And you still don't have to Mega it. You can just start attacking. It probably just requires the team to be played a little bit more carefully. You can't just throw the Sash Glimmora Whims lead willy-nilly. But yeah, this is a cool team, a cool take on what we're seeing. So now we're in the top 8. These guys got the money, baby. They got the money. Okay, first thing, we got another Glimmora team. So this is very similar to what we were seeing with Sash Glimmora. This one is actually not Fairy Feather, but instead Citrus Berry, which is kind of neat. We also have Kangaskhan Double Mega with the Charizard here, which is not something you see normally. Usually this is the King Gambit, but I think Kangaskhan is pretty good with Whimsicott as well. You can do a ton of damage with Double Edge. You can just lead Tailwind plus... Like, you can just fake out Tailwind and just start putting pressure on. Encore is really annoying as well, because the threat of, like, if you lead Kangaskhan Whimsicott, they can't just protect on your fake out. Like, you're a little bit more free to throw out Double Edge turn 1, because if they protect, they're getting Encored. So it feels kind of terrible, and they just get so much momentum. Like, they can just press fake out Tailwind if they want, but they could also just Tailwind Double Edge, and you're most likely not going to protect again, because you're so afraid of potential Encore pressure. So I think it's a real cool lead, and I think Kangaskhan with Charizard, I'm not fully sure why it's so good, but it just feels kind of strong. Like, you're just dealing damage, and I feel like they have the same kind of speed. They have the exact same speed, actually. So they do abuse a lot of the same speed control. They put on a lot of pressure. Yeah, I think it's cool. Also, Kangaskhan there's a cool thing you can do into Sableye Arch teams, actually, where you can lead both Kangaskhan and Charizard. This is kind of crazy, but it is so obnoxious for the Sableye player. If they lead Sableye, you can fake out Weather Ball, one-shot it, and there's not much they can do because of Scrappy fake out. So you just don't Mega Evolve. It's so weird that it works so well, but I think it's a pretty good strategy into it, and it's something that this team can do. As a little side note, a little bit of flair for you if you want to steal this team. But yeah, again, the Glimmora is really good. You pair it with the Whimsicott. This lead is just so toxic and so hard to deal with, again, because this toxic debris is so hard to get rid of and to deal with. I like the Colberberry Basculegion. That was I was testing a bit. I think it's really fun to make King Gambit feel not as threatening, right? Because I feel like Basculegion's biggest issue is King Gambit. Like, his issue is King Gambit. Otherwise, he just dominates the entire format. But Colberberry, at least for one turn, does help you out a lot. And sometimes that's all you need, right? Like, if I'm able to just press Last Respects one time and kill the partner next to King Gambit, then maybe I win the game. And I think this team does have a lot of King Gambit answers. We have Earth Power, we have Soft Sand, Garchomp with EQ, Drain Punch, Heat Wave, Weather Ball. Like, we have good, strong Pokemon to hit it, but I think also at the same time, we don't have a Dark Resist outside of Whims. And so having this Colberberry seems nice. It also functions really well in Tailwind. You still have that Last Respects checkmate. Just seems pretty strong. And we have Soft Sand, Garchomp, like I just mentioned. Those Earthquakes get really juicy. I was looking at calcs actually yesterday about Soft Sand, and it gives you 10%, which is pretty good, right? Like, especially into stuff like Floette, you can deal a lot more damage than you're used to, and it can catch people off guard. So I think it's a really cool item. I think it's pretty strong. Now we have, this team is actually crazy. I was looking at these teams a little bit earlier, and this one seemed kind of wild. We have Knockoff Scizor. We'll start with the Megas, right? So we have Dazzling Gleam, Moonblast, Light of Ruin. This is just the damage dealing Floette. You pair it with Talonflame, you set up Tailwind, you just deal infinite damage, right? You're spamming Light of Ruin, you're spamming those fairy moves, and you're just chipping everything down. Interestingly about this Talon is actually Charcoal Overheat. What? That's pretty crazy. Kind of cool though. I think it is kind of neat. We've seen Overheat in the past, but that was mainly because there was so much Intimidate that running a mixed Talonflame was kind of worth. But right now, Overheat, and also it was really nice to kill like Mawile and stuff. But now I think it's kind of cool because it can kill King Gambit, it can kill Aegislash. The Charcoal gives you that little extra damage to get the calcs that you need to. Still a crazy set, right? But again, the biggest threat to Floette is those steel types. So having a Pokemon that instantly can evaporate them with Overheat is pretty sick. And then we have Garchomp, obviously is one of the best Pokemon in the game paired with Talonflame. You just press Earthquake, you just deal damage. I feel like you can't run a Talonflame team without Garchomp. You just put on so much pressure with those spread moves. Citrus Berry Chomp is just good. If you have that free Citrus Berry, I'm a big fan of it. It just makes him so bulky. And Garchomp in 2026 is like jacked. He's really buff, really bulky. He's bulk maxing for sure. And that's just the style that Garchomp's played. Like, it feels like Garchomp, you know, like when you don't see a friend for like 3 years and then they come back and they're jacked as shit and you're like, whoa, dude, you used to be like a fucking track star. You used to run so fast and now you're just bulky and you just lift weights all day and you're so like buff. That's Garchomp now. Like 2014 Garchomp, he was slim. He was fast. He was the fastest dude you ever could see. And now he's just pure bulk. And it's kind of a weird feeling. And it's something that I'm currently dealing with. Like Garchomp feels not like Garchomp to me. It feels so strange, but he's very bulky, he's very good, and Citrus Berry, fire. Scizor is kind of cool here as well. We're not seeing SD, which I think is okay. I don't think there's so much, like, there's not a single Incineroar in Top Cut. There is Incineroar, he does exist, but he's not in Top Cut. So, like, at the end of the day, do you need SD, or do you just want to deal damage with Mega Scizor? And this guy said, I'm dealing damage, buddy. And he is running knockoff to not be walled by Basculegion, which I think is kind of sick. Because right now, this team doesn't have the best Basculegion answers. Like, the first 4 Pokemon actually fucking hate Basculegion. This guy loves Basculegion, but these 4 don't really like it. So it kind of makes sense that he's just running knockoff. Scizor is really interesting to me. I think he's good. He's just really hard to use. He's hard to figure out the perfect team for, but I think he's cool. King Gambit's King Gambit. He's always just good. And then again, we have this Toxic Debris Glimmora. Now, obviously, this one isn't paired with Whims, but it functions kind of similarly, right? Every Pokemon on the team has Protect. So if you lead Talonflame plus Glimmora, you can put on a ton of pressure, proc your Toxic Debris, and then everything slowly just... That little chip can be such a big deal, right? It breaks sashes. It stops switching as much, right? And the only poison type that's really, really popular right now, there's no Amoonguss, dude. So the only one is like Sneasler. And some teams, I think Sneasler's dying down a bit. Yeah, is there one in cut? Oh my God, Sneasler on Fraud Watch. Sneasler on Fraud Watch. There's one in cut? Yeah, so clearing up those Toxic Debris is almost impossible. So it's just so good. It's so, so good. Huge fan of Toxic Debris. Let's move to Fede Campo's team. So this is is this the one? Yeah, this is the one. This is like this is the blueprint. This is the base team that I was talking about. This is Whimsicott Glimmora. So Fairy Feather Whimsicott just allows you to get those big KOs, most notably just putting more pressure on Garchomp. You run basically all bulk on the Whimsicott, but then you run enough special attack with Fairy Feather that you're able to 2-hit KO Garchomp still, because Whimsicott's actually so weak that it can't really do it. So having that Fairy Feather is kind of a necessary evil. Again, we have this Toxic Debris Glimmora, setting up the spikes, doing lots of, just pressure with those Toxic Debris, breaking sashes, doing a little bit of damage here, so then Charizard, Basculegion, Garchomp can clean up. Those 2 are covered. Charizard, he's the best Mega in the game, hands down the GOAT. So being able to spam those Heat Waves, those Weather Balls, Solar Beams feels very, very strong. And then King Gambit, obviously, is very, very good. He's one of the best Pokemon in the game. Again, we're seeing that no Protect, opting instead for all that coverage. He's just bulky enough to get it done. There's not too much fake out. And you just want to get the most value out of your Tailwind turns as well. So having that coverage is ideal. And then here's kind of the crazy part. The crazy thing about this team is that they ran Mystic Water Basculegion on a Sun team. Now, Basculegion on Sun is a match made in heaven. The synergy that Charizard and Basculegion have, it's so stupid that the Sun team uses the Water type, and not only uses the Water type, but it uses it with Mystic Water. Are you kidding me? But it just makes sense. And the reason it makes sense is because those Adaptability Wave Crashes deal so much damage. There's some really big hits. You can threaten Charizard in the Sun with Wave Crashes. Also, the Aqua Jet reach that you get from Adaptability Mystic Water is really, really nice. Really incredible stuff. So I think it just makes a lot of sense as an item for Basculegion in general. You get those big calcs, those big hits, those Aqua Jet snipes. But then you just say, hey, I'm on Sun. I don't really care. I still want to put the pressure on, and I still want to use the best Pokemon in the game. Very, very good. Obviously, Last Respects is Last Respects. It works in Sun, and that's one of the best parts of Basculegion. It is the best part, not one of. And then we have a bulky Citrus Berry Garchomp once again, but this one's actually running Poison Jab to put pressure on, I guess, other Whimsicots, but also just fairies in general. Garchomp can feel kind of walled out by them, so having Poison Jab is kind of neat. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of neat, especially with the rise of Whimsicott and Sylveon. But yeah, this is the blueprint for the team. This is what everybody originated with, and that's where it's slowly transitioning away from that. But I think that team is still obviously very, very good. And it did get 6th place there, right? Yeah, 6. And then next up we have in 5th place, one of the most insane teams in the entire tour. So we have a fake out Water Spout Shell Smash Mega Blastoise set. We have Ice Punch Mega Kangaskhan, Torkoal, Farigiraf, Basculegion, and Vivillon. So I think the main idea here is that you have a hard Trick Room team, right? You have the ability to have one, right? You can lead Farigiraf plus Kangaskhan, Farigiraf plus Blastoise, fake out Trick Room. We're in, dude, right? Especially with this guy, you can just set up Trick Room, bring in your Torkoal late game and just start sweeping. But then we have the absolutely diabolical fake out plus Sleep Powder set, right? Like you're able to just bring in you can lead this lead. I played against this on ladder and it actually pissed me the fuck off, because what they do is they just fake out Sleep Powder and you're like, shit, they get Sleep Powder next turn because the dude's Scarf. And the play is so safe, right? It's genuinely so safe, because what do? You can double protect, sure, that's like kind of your best play, but you're also afraid of a potential just raw Shell Smash right off the bat, which is something they can totally do. They could just Sleep Powder Shell Smash too. They have so many options, and you have to respect them. And then, not only that, they have Farigiraf in the back to block potential Sucker Punches or priority moves once he's set up. You can just keep spamming Sleep Powder, like turn 1, fake out Sleep Powder, turn 2, Shell Smash Sleep Powder. Both Pokemon are asleep, you're at +2. It's time to start dealing damage, and you say, oh, but I have Sucker Punch. Nope, he switches in Farigiraf on turn 2, on turn 3, and you just Water Spouts, and you lose. It's kind of a crazy team, because this team is godlike in best of 1, right? Like, this team seems horrible to see on the in-game Champions ladder, but the fact that this player used this in a open team sheet best of 3 setting and was able to place 5th place is incredible stuff. The 2 modes are just so obnoxious and so scary. Basculegion can come clean up at the end of either Trick Room or at the end of the Blastoise sweep. It just seems like such a good team. Like, it seems so stupid, but it's so good. Then now we're firmly in the top 4. In top 4 once again, is that Keyberry? It's Kaiba Berry, okay. Again, this is that Whimsicott team we're talking about. Everything is the same, except for no Fairy Feather. It instead has Kaiba Berry, which is the Poison Berry. So this will allow it to live Dire Claws or Sludge Bombs, which is actually very interesting, because in the mirror, it could be incredibly valuable to lead these two into these two. Because usually when you play this mirror, you usually lead Glimmora Whims. If I lead Glimmora Whims into Glimmora Whims and you go for Sludge Bomb and I live, that could be valuable, right? That could be huge, just because it allows you to potentially get more terms out of your Whims or set up a late game Tailwind. So that's kind of neat. Otherwise, everything is pretty similar. We do see Protect here. We do see no Poison Jab here. It's a little different than Fede Campo. But again, we do see this Mystic Water Basculegion. And yeah, Glimmora Charizard. Very good team. Very, very good. And then we have Shohei Kamira's team. I believe this is very similar to Ubislow's team. Ubisoft, one of the greatest team builders of all time, one of my favorite players. But this team is very much built around the idea of Charizard and Floette. The idea is that you have a Floette Calm Mind mode by leading, Incineroar Floette. You fake out Calm Mind. That's it. And then you have the Sinestia, who kind of gives you the necessary healing and sustain that you can to get through enemy teams. I think this team is pretty cool, and I think there's like slight offshoots of this team moving forward. Like, I think that we're going to see a little bit of the Charizard Floette. I think this is another one of those big teams that kind of came out the end of the Champions ladder. Again, fake out Calm Mind, and then you have this guy. That's a mode. But then you also just have the Charizard mode, which is a completely different mode that you have to deal with. Also, I lied. One Incin. He did it. He's not on Fraud Watch, guys. He made it. He got 3rd. Fuck yeah, Incin. So, but then if you're dealing with the Floette mode, right? Like Incin, Sinestia, Floette. What if they just whip the Charizard plus Garchomp mode and they just start pressing EQ Heat Wave and just start spamming damage, right? You have like, it's perfectly cut down the middle. Balance, defense, setup. And then the fucking GoPro crazy mode. Watch this kickflip, dude. I'm going to smack you with Heat Wave, Rock Slide, EQ, and then a Sash Max Speed Aegislash, dealing as much damage as humanly possible. Very cool team, very crazy team from Shohei Kimura, our former world champion. Very cool though. Like again, like we have a nice setup mode, peaceful, and then we have the really strong guys. But also, the really strong guys can pair with the setup mode. Like having Garchomp with these guys is valuable. Same with Aegislash. He gives much needed speed. He gives a good defensive switch, I guess, if you want to throw your Aegislash in there. Puts a lot of damage too with those moves, and Wide Guard for support. Insane team for open sheet. Then we have Stefano Greppi. Honestly, he's been on kind of a tear. I think with the same 6 as last time. I believe that he used this team to get top cuts, if not maybe finals. I don't know for sure. I just remember I did one of these videos recently and he did really, really well in a previous Victory Road tournament. So I think he's very, very strong, very, very good player with his team that he's been using, which is Sylveon, Farigiraf, Charizard. So he gets kind of a Trick Room mode. I also think Farigiraf is a good Pokemon. Farigiraf is truly one of the greats. I think if VGC, at the end of VGC's life, when we're all old and it's done, I think Farigiraf might be on Mount Rushmore. This Pokemon is so, so good. No matter the format, it always finds a way. It has the high level play of something like a Moongus, Incineroar, OG Thundurus, right? This guy is so, so good. And yeah, I think it's good in this meta. I think specifically right now with the rise of the Glimmora stuff, having a Trick Room mode with Farigiraf makes a lot of sense because they're all about Tailwind, about going fast. So if you're able to set up Trick Room with the very reliable Farigiraf, you can just sweep them, right? They have to respect you. It can put pressure on Glimmora, and it's one of the few Pokemon that can put pressure on Glimmora without proccing the spikes, right? So I think that's very, very cool. Otherwise, it's pretty normal stuff. We have Mega Aerodactyl to set up Tailwind and to put pressure onto the enemy with Rock Slides and threaten enemy Charizards. And then we also have the Charizard here, who is just good whether with the regular Aerodactyl or without. Sash Bash Legion is fire. We have Earthquake, Rock Tomb, Soft Sand, Garchomp. We have double flying types with him. Sylveon and Farigiraf create a really, really strong Trick Room mode, and then Sash Bash Legion just blends everything together, whether it's in Trick Room or in Tailwind with Mega Aerodactyl. It's just really, really solid. I think this team is incredible. This looks like it has literally everything. We have Tail Room, we have Sylveon to sweep in and out of Trick Room, we have Charizard, the best Mega in the game, we have a secondary Mega, and we just get to use the best guys. What an amazing team from Stefano, and an amazing run, getting second place. But losing to Mega Dragonite? Mega Dragonite is here in the finals of the tournament. This team is crazy, man. I would have not expected this team to win whatsoever, especially with these crazy movesets. So ignore Mega Dragonite for now. Pretend he's not there, okay? Like cover it up. Like don't look at him, right? So this is a pretty normal Sun team, right? We have Rock Tomb Garchomp, we have Scarf Adaptability, Basculegion with Charizard. He has Helping Hand for some reason, which is kind of crazy, but kind of cool, especially paired with stuff like Garchomp and Basculegion. I bet it would, I mean, in close sheet, it's going to catch people off guard, but even in open sheet, like, potentially, if you're trying to Sucker Punch Charizard, he's at 1 HP, and he goes for the Helping Hand, now Garchomp can potentially KO King Gambit. That's crazy. Or Garchomp in general could just get a KO that he normally shouldn't, or Basculegion. I think it's pretty sick. We see Black Glasses King Gambit, which is not something you see a lot of, by the way. Venusaur has also all but died down, but Venusaur won the tournament, which is kind of wild, especially with the Sleep Powder set. I think we've seen a little bit of Mega Venusaur here and there. I think Mega Venusaur is pretty solid, but Sash Venusaur in 2026 still popping off, because I would say a month ago, like day one, Charizard Venusaur, that was the shit. That was so good. That was so powerful. But now we're a month into Champions. It's time to relax. We're over a month. We're just saying, what's good? What's not good? Charizard Venusaur, I would say he's not good, but clearly very good. Sleep Powder is still Sleep Powder. It's still good. I think also the grass coverage is demon mode on it right now. You can put pressure on Basculegions. Also, depending on your speed, if you're timid, you can actually outspeed Basculegion even in Tailwind. Basculegion is still the king of the format, so very, very crazy and cool to see that Venusaur's popping off here. What's also kind of cool is the Dragonite. Let's talk about the Dragonite. Also, before we get to Dragonite, Black Glasses King Gambit is pretty sick as well. Actually lets you KO Basculegion. This is like the Basculegion hate corner over here. They just want to beat that guy up. But what's cool about Dragonite is he's so consistent and so strong at setting up Tailwind, right? Like, he's so obnoxious to deal with. This moveset is kind of neat. You have Draco Meteor for insane damage, which he does do a lot of damage. Flamethrower for that coverage. I think King Gambit matchup looks a little rough, but having that Flamethrower helps a little bit. I also love that your Mega is just good with Garchomp no matter what, which is kind of fun. So you're able to just press Earthquake next to 2 of your Megas. Powerful stuff. We do have that Tailwind if we need it. Again, we have so much of a speed ceiling though with Venusaur, Basculegion, and even KG with those Sucker Punches can be really valuable. Yeah, just a very, very cool team. This guy's extreme speed, I think, is cool to have on Mega Dragonite just for that extra priority. Like, there's so many sashes, there's so many Pokemon that are at 1 HP, so having that extra extreme speed seems valuable. What I think is cool about Venusaur is he can come with Dragonite. We have Tailwind, we can get Venusaur going, but in general, there's so much Charizard that you really could just bring these two together. Like, I think Venusaur is a good Pokemon that doesn't need Charizard to be good. It can just hang out with the other guys. It's got a good speed tier, it outspeeds a lot, it puts a lot of pressure with those Leaf Storms, with those Sleep Powders. Seems kind of cool. Sludge Bomb's neat as well. Just kind of a cool team. I don't know. This is a sick team to win the tournament. Japan on top, dude. Tota popped off with this crazy Venusaur team. So yeah, these are the Victory Road teams. Let's hop over and talk about the 2 teams that I have from the Masterball Thailand series, so we can talk about the 2 teams that won and did qualify for Worlds. So this is the 2nd place team here. We have again a Calm Mind Floette. You can't see by my head, but we got Calm Mind Floette paired with Mega Gengar with Wisp. Not something we're seeing a lot of. I feel like Mega Gengar, like if we look at that Victory Road, there's like literally none. I mean, dude, is there even a Mega Gengar? Okay, there's 2 in day 2. But yeah, Mega Gengar clearly not showing up crazy style there. But getting 2nd here with a kind of a Floette Mega Gengar team, we just kind of have some of the best Pokemon here, right? We have Floette, we have Fake Out. That's lit. That's fun. We also have Tailwind Dragonite, which I think is valuable. I think Floette does appreciate a good Tailwind. Pairing that with Dragonite makes a lot of sense. Dragonite's also very good into Sun, which I think Gengar and Floette both hate. So having Dragonite's valuable. Incin obviously showing up. He's in 2nd place. Let's go. Sash Basculegion, always very, very good. And King Gambit, one of the best in the format. Wisp Gengar is kind of neat, though. I do feel like there is again, it's very physically dominated. So why not Wisp? Why not double stabs Wisp? We don't have Perish. We don't really need Disable. We don't have Encore. We're just using Gengar for what he's good at, which is his stabs and Shadow Tag. So Wisp just kind of allows him to live longer. I also think Gengar Incin is like, that's Incin's best comp. Like when Incin doesn't know what to do, putting him with Gengar feels good. I think he loves being with his buddy. He loves faking out. He loves setting up those guaranteed pins that Gengar and Incineroar can do together. So big fan of that combination. Throw in the best Pokemon in the game, and then just a random Floette plus Dragonite. Like, it has these 2 modes that you have to respect and you have to deal with. I'll link this team down below. I'll link both these teams because they did tweet them. They do have rental codes for these teams if you want to try them out. But yeah, I think this team is kind of neat. It's not something that we normally see, but it definitely looks very, very solid, and a team that could win or get 2nd at the tournament. And now we have the winner team. They said that this team was designed to make Zard-Y suck, right? It was designed to put pressure on Zard-Y and make it feel bad. So we have Como, who's one of the best Zard-Y counters in the game when it comes to non-megas. I think he is very, very good in the Zard-Y. Obviously, you have to deal with the partners, Whimsicott, Sylveon, stuff of that nature. But Sylveon, we do have soundproof, so we don't have to worry as much. We do have to worry about Hyper Beam, but I think Como is still very, very good into Charizard. This team is kind of crazy because normally Como is just kind of not seen, but Como is winning here. We also have Mega Venusaur. Mega Aerodactyl is the best guy to help deal with Charizard, in my opinion. And then also Incineroar is great into Charizard as well. I think this is actually like a really cool, like, kind of take on Mega Aerodactyl, like where I like Fake Out plus Mega Aerodactyl because I think one of Aerodactyl's biggest issues right now is like the Encore Whimsicott stuff, and being able to have Fake Out plus Aerodactyl does seem pretty solid. Aerodactyl can put a ton of damage, ton of pressure on with Rock Slide, dual Wing Beat. Fake Out's neat. Como is good as well, being able to threaten Charizard. And then you also, if you're like, hey, Whimsicott stuff's annoying, you have a whole Venusaur. Venusaur is a very strong Pokemon. Mega Venusaur is so hard to deal with. You have Sludge Bomb to help put pressure on the Whims, Earth Power to threaten Glimmora. It's also just so hard to kill Venusaur. Like, Rain teams struggle with it. There's like no Psychic types. Like Farigiraf and Gardevoir are like the only 2, and they're very fringe. So I don't know. I think that Mega Venusaur is in such a really solid spot. And yeah, I like the double Mega, right? Like, especially Mega Venusaur is like okay into Charizard. Thick Fat is great, but at the same time, Aerodactyl just throttles it. That I think it is, and like the other Pokemon this half just destroys Charizard, so that this guy can just shine. Very cool team that was able to win the entire thing. Congrats to to this guy for winning, dude. Like, it's no easy feat to win one of these tournaments. And yeah, it's very Mega Venusaur Mega Aerodactyl is a cool combination. I am a big fan of Mega Aerodactyl as a second Mega. I think he does do a really good job. The matchups he's great in, but then when he sucks, you're like, okay, I just won't bring him. And he is so versatile because he can be used without the Mega Evolution. And it's cool to see Como on top again. I feel like Como is a good Pokemon. He's just very tricky to use. But let me know what you guys think of the teams that we featured here today. Yeah, the meta is changing. It's shifting rapidly, and as we approach the first real-life tournament for NA, EU, and then we start transitioning fully to Champions, it's very exciting, and the meta is just going kind of nuts, right? Like, normally, when we have these type of tournaments, usually it's like, hey, like I remember for Scarlet and Violet, like we got the game and we had a month to figure everything out, and then we hopped in. And this is the same kind of thing where the meta is evolving rapidly, and a lot of players are trying to find their comfort or the things that they think are strong, and then other people are countering that with the things that they think are strong, and it creates this really crazy, very diverse metagame that we currently have. Obviously, we're seeing a lot of Whimsicott, but that is the new toy of the month, right? Like, everything is all about Whims right now. We'll have to see if Whimsicott can sustain itself as one of the top tier picks. So let me know what you guys think down below of the metagame that we're currently in. And thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And if you could, drop a sub. I'd love you forever. See you next time.